Oh, man. There we go. Turn that up ever so slightly. There we go. Alright, right there. Share the stream and then we'll get started. Hey, Suck, how you doing, buddy? How's it going, my little bear friend? Fun fact, I didn't get any sleep last night. I had way too much caffeine. Kome video for real. I saw you talking about it in that one server that we're all a part of. I'm happy that you're getting back into it though, man. It's good to see. Just gonna wait another minute or two for people to get in. You been doing good though, buddy? Outside of that? Yeah, I'm doing good. Hell yeah, man. Also, that reminds me, soon, we gotta do forever winter things. Just gonna finish looking at some stuff real quick and then we'll get started. There we go. Alright. Alright. Let's figure out some things to do. Because I did not come in with a plan. A rare chance of me playing PC game today, and instead of Warframe, I finally touched Monster Hunter World after 1 to 2 years buying it. At last escaped Warframe. How you doing, Barrow? Oh, I forgot. I gotta activate shuffle for music. There we go. Hey, I'm gonna switch over to this one. Switch off of the Hound for a little bit. Kind of feel like trying my MOA, actually. Yeah, there's this one. And then I forgot, can they use the heat mod that I'm thinking of? No, it doesn't look like they can. Alright, switch back. We'll keep this on. Let's switch back to this. There we go. Alright, synth deconstruct. I'm gonna drop that actually. I'm trying to decide which one could be neat. The thing is, it doesn't really kill that often. Vicious could be helpful. This is an era. Yeah, I'll try this one for a little bit. It's interesting. Morgan, Akron. Hey Adam, how you doing? Just getting some stuff put together, and then we're gonna go do some missions and shit. Also, good morning, everybody. It's like, wow, it's 8:35 in the morning. I've been awake all night because I just could not sleep. I have been binging The Walking Dead. Hey, good for you, man. I stopped watching that show after like season 6 or 7 or whatever it was because I thought it got too stupid. There's suspense your disbelief, and then there's things that happened in season 7. On 7 right now, I've been doing like half a season a day. Damn! That's impressive, actually. Nice. So we're starting this. Does the Araxia represent your people from the land down under? Reaper's Necros. I'm not from... Well, I mean, I'm from Florida, but I'm not from Australia. Same thing, you have crocs as pets. Not exactly, we have alligators, not crocodiles. I remember seeing a Walking Dead recap video and it's 8 hours long. Yep. That sounds about right. Who here is excited for TennoCon though? Because it's very likely that we're finally going to be seeing Tau. Get in here. Get rifted. How do you feel about the Limbo rework rumor? I have... Oh. Toxin proc. That's fun. I have strong feelings that we are going to be seeing something at TennoCon. Basically someone on one of the dev shorts, one of the devs made a Limbo joke, and DE Rebecca herself had to scrub through trying to tell people that nothing's happening. Which I'm very certain is happening, because they didn't do that with the Araxia kind of shit that much. Or correction, they did kind of do that. Say, oh, it's not happening, and then it did happen kind of thing. So I strongly feel that we're gonna see something at TennoCon. Maybe not a full-blown rework, but maybe something that he's getting. I have very strong feelings of that. It's also just too coincidental because of all the other stuff that lines up with TennoCon too. I doubt we are getting a Limbo rework, maybe an overall rework someone else. Nah, it's just way too coincidental that it's gonna be Limbo. I mean, literally, the TennoCon Sayandana is called Rift Guard. That alone was a dead giveaway to me that something's going on with him. Are you nervous? Somewhat, because on the one hand, they could fuck it up, but on the other hand, with the way the reworks have been going lately, I have some faith if it is one. We'll just have to see what it is if it is indeed a rework. Not only that, they've been hyping up more and more Limbo stuff lately. I mean, the fact that he got a glyph, he got some updates over the last couple of weeks and months, and the past couple of updates. I genuinely do feel like there's something that's gonna happen. We are coping with this one? Nah, we're not. We're not. I have very strong feelings that something is going to get announced for him at TennoCon. It's just too coincidental. He got... Well, no, he got some changes to certain enemies interacting with him to improve his playstyle a little bit. He got the glyph and everything. He got cosmetics. Tau better have Pazul. I'm pretty sure he will. I feel like they're going to bring Pazul back into the story, I think. At least I think that will be the case if they're doing Tau things. I mean, if I remember correctly, at least from what Narmer was, I believe Pazul is the thing that's keeping us from getting the Tau, technically. So I do have feelings that he's gonna come back in some way. Maybe not as a major character necessarily, but I feel like something will come back. It also has a sentient themed deluxe and a Tenocon relay as Paragasa. It all lines up. That's true, yeah. Yeah, not to mention, like I already said, Rift Guard. That's literally what the Tenocon Sayonara is called, Rift Guard, and it has rifty effects for its alternate mode. It's just way, way, way too coincidental for it to not be something related to him. Oh, we can dip. Nice. But yeah, that's what I think. It all lines up. It does. Not to mention, I have heard some rumblings about some stuff months past, too. Don't know what they are because I'm not officially in the loop or anything, but I've heard that there are some things going on in the background. Would be cool if it's a rework, but if it's like some upgrades for him, I'm also cool with that too. Yeah, okay, I got escapist. You know what that means? Fish! How you doing, Carp? Speaking of its deluxe, why do you never use it? Not a fan. I mean, I use it, Adam, from time to time. I just haven't used it lately. Like, I do have a couple fashions where I use it. I just haven't used the limbo that has the fashion that much. I've left my mark. See ya. Have a good one, Carp. Good to see you, buddy. I love the Gorgon, man. Imagine if the rework is if Limbo / allies is in Rift, they get CC crit chance / crit damage. I don't think it'll be something as little as that. Because at least from what I've heard a little bit, like through the grapevine, there's been talks about things going on as far back as like December or something, like October, December, like October, November or so. Like I said, I don't know what any of it is. I've just heard some rumors. Honestly, I don't have any expectations from DE anymore. They just use recycled content reworks to compensate for the lag. Well, the thing is, Reaper, is that they've been doing this for years. This is not unnatural for them to do. And, like, recycling of content is fine if it's done well. Because, like, I mean, heck, frickin' most games, especially ones like Elden Ring, for example, recycle old animations and shit. People don't complain about that. And besides, it's not good to be negative, man. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be an overly positive, giddy person, but if you're constantly negative, then of course you're gonna feel down about it, no matter what they add. Pablo better cook something, because if I see another crit or serration damage in the rework, then I don't think I can defend the Pablo. Best I can do is damage allocation anymore. Yeah, that's true. Like, I don't know. We'll see what it is, if there is anything at TennoCon. I have strong feelings there will be, though. It just lines up way too well that something's coming. Alright. So that is done. I'm trying to remember what else I needed to do. After Zerman came out, I was over for anything new and challenging in the game. Proved me wrong. I mean, I found Zeramin pretty good, to be honest. I think the Fractured boss fight is kind of neat, and same thing with the tank. I like the tank. Did you discuss Rolljack in your Warframe missions video? Nah, like I said, it's your boy. I tried keeping that short mainly because I'm already working on a bigger project right now, which is the modding guide at the moment. And that was like a short tangent that is supposed to help hype up a little bit what I'm going to be talking about in the guide, which is going to be split across multiple videos. Because I feel like mission design is also very important when it comes to modding, because certain missions don't want certain warframes or certain modding configurations. He supervised Protea, and Protea of one of the most future-proof frames ever. He got the talent and the vision. It's just how community reacts to the interaction versus damage brain rot. Yeah, that's like the problem. And here's the thing, hot take. I think they are trying to fix it, which is what they tried doing with the Valkyrie rework. Because, like, we could shit on the damage passive part, but they at least made her more engaging, at the very least. Did she need more damage? No, but at the same time, it gets people to actually play her, which is disappointing. But, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh my god, Adam, what do we got? Oh my god. What is this? Oh, man. And the other thing too, Paro, at least from what I've looked into with some research, apparently Pablo designed Limbo as well, so I feel like Limbo might be his baby, in a way. So I highly doubt if he's doing the rework for him that he's gonna fuck it up too much. At least if the information that I saw is to be trusted. Yo, what shards are you using on your Limbo? 1 second. So the ones I'm using right now, at least on this build, is just all duration. Because, yeah. Really funny duration numbers. Laughs in nearly 2-minute long cataclysm. Love this shit. No casting. The casting speed is coming from natural talent for this. This is, like, experimental, so I'm trying some different things. Because, like, on my main one... Let me go right here. This one has... casting speed, parkour velocity... I don't know why that's there. And then this... How do I one-shot Yanis for? That's the funny thing, Bazu. You don't. You can't. I'll admit, I feel like Yanis War was pretty annoying. Try Zephyr with Sampotes. I will never use that because I've seen that, and I know I will fall asleep on this stream if I do. Use Funnel Cloud and boom, one-shot. I just don't care about that Reaper's Necros. It just gets boring when you do that over and over. I like ways of dealing damage where my goal is that I have the tools and the damage numbers to deal damage, but I gotta find ways to do it with the mechanics I'm given. And Zephyr with Sampotes, quite frankly, is something that will cure insomnia. Let me see. Same here, just trying to help the guy up. It's okay. I typically just stay... Because, like, the thing for me, Reaper, is... Limbo's, like, the only frame outside of Sevagoth, Jade, and a couple of others that... Oh, yeah. 1 second, Adam. Yeah, there we go. Nice. But yeah, it's like... I play games to get engaged, and so far Limbo's the only one that does. Outside of, like I said, Sevagoth, Jade, a couple of others from time to time. It really depends on how I feel. And then... Let me see what's actually in the circuit, because think about it now, I actually do gotta do the circuit. Yeah, I need this. And I'll do that. Why not? Does anyone want to join me for some circuit? Let me know and I'll drag you in. 8 is so goated. Yeah. I keep forgetting to grab it when it comes around, so I think I'm gonna finally do it now. I'm asked because I can't figure out. It's built with Angstrom, and he don't tell me. Oh, but I don't have any good ones right now? Ah, okay. No worries. Yeah, we'll go in with a public lobby. See what happens. And we got Frost, Nova... Ah, speaking of Zephyr, I got Zephyr. I like Zephyr. She's another one that I do enjoy playing, though. Honestly, the fact that she's not in the meta, despite her being perfect for it, is one of the craziest ironies this game has ever seen. Like, she is the textbook example of the perfect meta frame, yet nobody uses her. For real? Yeah. It doesn't matter. We don't need a mod. Ooh, Miter. Fuck yeah. Prisma Oma. Twin Comax. And that. There we go. I've used Octavia 3 times more than Zephyr. He said to read damage attenuation from Wiki. Oh, are you talking about the, what was it? I'm trying to remember who talked about that. There was someone who mentioned it. I do know that, I know that Angstrom does a lot of crit, so it bypasses the attenuation somewhat. I don't know about one-shotting, though. That's the thing. I mean, the way I killed Vor is I used Vazarin Sling and a Serata to kill him. Although then again, I used Silence as well when it was working. I still gotta try doing it legitimately this time. Because, like, I kept getting to, like, his third phase after you do the hallway thing, and I'm just like, fuck it. I wanted to try and see if it worked. And I think I was one of the first few people to discover that Silence, in fact, worked on him at the time. If you could design any weapon, what will you make? Honestly, one that I would love is a sniper rifle, like an infested sniper rifle, that burrows into enemies and roots the enemy in place, but then it will create tendrils that then grabs other enemies to release like a viral sickness kind of thing. As an Angstrom loyalist, go for crit and damage. I killed the Super Vor with it in Chroma. Oh, that's fair. Let's see what decree do we got. Whew. Yahoo. A infested sniper that is similar to Provost. It kind of like a mix of that and the what's it called? The what's that infested sniper rifle that already exists? The one from Deimos, the Sporothrix. Kind of like that. That or make it an Incarnate that does that. TennoCon borrows less than a week away. Chat, don't forget to stock up on ducats. I have. I can't wait. Or Nah, sorry, I'm lying. I haven't. Thinking about it now, I already spent a bunch when he came around. Because I realized I didn't have a bunch of the things that he had there. I'm already out of ammo, damn. Saw the face reveal. Who knew Yandere Dev was a limbo main? Oh god, don't compare me to him, please. How you doing, Hexamoon? Oh my god. That is a name that I did not expect to hear in 2025, damn. Did he get arrested or something? I've heard something happened with him. Not entirely sure, because like I haven't followed his story or whatever it is for a while. But that's actually a good point. If anybody's in the Discord server, I face revealed there for those interested. Because the plan was to do it at TennoCon, but I'm sadly unable to go to TennoCon due to unforeseen things that happened. Mainly just some things that would interfere with travel. So because of that, I'm still going to be streaming the event, I just won't be attending it, which is depressing. It would probably smell like sweat anyways. What's a weapon type you want more of? That's actually a good question. I unironically would like to see a lot more railgun type weapons, like the Opticore. Like like some new railguns would be honestly really cool. Like imagine one where it had a mechanic where you could give it more ammo, and it would give it like a super shot kind of thing, like a tank buster type weapon. Would it be super efficient? Nah, but it'd be cool as fuck. Tomes is another one, yeah. Like, I'm gonna mine more magic books. You just described the BFG 10,000. Kind of, kind of. But yeah, just like a really cool tank buster weapon. Like, a good example, and it's one of my favorite secondaries, is the Onos. Like, I just love how it's just like the Death Star as a handgun. I got Calorvo today. Legit farm managed to make my unranked no investment Thalas actually reckon SP Tech Rot. Nice. I mean, you know me, I would like more spear guns since it has very unique animations with every frame. That's true. I wouldn't mind those either. My personal favorite is the Scourge. Well, Scourge Prime. 100% agree, Onos is great. Yeah. Like, the Onos is awesome. I'm still super, like, phased when, what's his name? I forgot, Lazar Gaming called it the Sad Sack, and I'm like, buddy, it's like one of the strongest Incarnats we've gotten in a while. That was, like, such a out-of-pocket thing for him to say. Like, not to be rude, I get that people have opinions, but, like, that one was just, like, it was just a bizarre one. I want more unique weapons like the Riot 848 weapons that play on a mechanic that isn't usually cared for in other weapons. That's true, Hexamoon. Like, I agree as well. I love the Riot. Like, probably like top 10 favorite secondaries for me. Mainly because it's like, it's one that you build more so around getting as much damage out as possible and not having to worry about ammo because it has infinite ammo kind of thing. Which means that its damage scaling is theoretically infinite because it never has to worry about ammo economy. I hit 2.1 billion with that thing in a casual mission against level 300 enemies. Nice. Good shit. What's a mechanic that you want to see in a frame that hasn't been added yet? Hacker frame would be pretty cool. But, honestly, what I would love is a Warframe that mimics other enemies. Like a transmuter kind of Warframe. Not like Lavos, but you know what I mean. Like, can mimic and become similar to other, like, enemies or even other Warframes. Like, if they're in a squad, they can copy your loadout kind of thing. Like an ally's loadout for a short period. TF2 Spy S frame for real. Skin crawler type frame. Yeah. Like, if any of you guys have seen the movie Smile, imagine, like, the creature from that movie, almost. Like, I would love that as a frame. Like that one guy from COD Black Ops 3. I have never played Call of Duty Black Ops 3, so I wouldn't know. Honestly, I need a build for the Riot because I can't make it do damage. I could show you after this Reaper. I have a build that I use that gets it going a little bit. Like, it's not going to do level cap or anything, but for general content and stuff like that, it's perfectly fine. SCP type frame? Yeah, Frame Master, you get the idea. Want, like, more horror-based frames. It would make every mission very unique with enemy types and ally frames. Exactly. Like, I don't care if it can nuke rooms or not, I just care if it's interesting. kind of brings me into a very interesting topic, actually, that I've always wanted to explore with Warframe. Because I think it's kind of funny how people, like, discuss Warframe as, like, being a horde shooter, right? And even though that's technically what it is right now, it may not be that way at some point when you think about it. Because it initially started off as, like, a stealth spy kind of game, right? Which means that we're kind of in our arc of it being like a horde shooter. So, for all we know, eventually it could change. SSJG Chris the Nightmare has subscribed. Thank you. Get more darks, I don't know. This is impossible. The man in the wall can transform. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, he does mimic loved ones, so it would make sense. I really hope they actually keep to what they said, because, like, the thing is, Warframe has always been kind of dark from here on out, but I wonder how far they're gonna go if what they're saying is true about it getting darker than it currently is. Because, I mean, at least to me, I feel like quests like Jade Shadows and Whispers in the Wall in particular were pretty disturbing. Well, Jade Shadows anyway. Like, Whispers in the Wall was just kind of creepy. Wasn't really that scary. It was cool, though. Like, really good. Like, I would say post-New War, it was one of the best quests we've ever gotten. Ballast in the New War was pretty disturbing. True, true. For me, it was never dark since I had in mind that I play as a literal god. Well, that's actually the kind of thing, and that's what I think actually kind of helps it, is that when you don't think about Warframe, you may not see it as dark. It's only when you actually examine the subtext of the game that you realize how disturbing it can be. Especially with the likes of, like I said, Jade Shadows is an example. The Orb Valis in of itself is pretty terrifying when you think about it. Like, people that basically have to sell their body parts to make money and not have their brains taken away, and when they do, they have just their brain sitting on a shelf and they're stuck there forever. That's pretty disturbing stuff. Bro, imagine Scarlet come to Warframe. Oh god. That could be neat. But yeah, Warframe has always had that dark subtext. It's just that it was never very pronounced, I would say. So, if they're saying they're going darker, then that kind of gives me the idea that they're, what is it, oh my god, I'm trying to find the right words. They're gonna make it more pronounced, most likely. Oh, Scarlet King. Oh yeah, from SCP. I think you meant Scarlet from Mortal Kombat. I was like, yeah, that could work. Hey, Stabs, what you doing, buddy? When they started making you type a confirm button before certain quests, the writing got darker. Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say it's been all that dark. I mean, there's definitely disturbing stuff. The subtext was there, it just wasn't very pronounced. They need to put some RE0 lore to make it remotely dark. Eh. I'd say it still is. I mean, Jade Shadow, like I said, Jade Shadows in particular I felt was pretty sad and dark when you think about it. Just woke up waking up. Hell yeah. So fun fact, Sabs, I couldn't sleep at all. I was up all night. Chains of Harrow. Yeah, Chains of Harrow, that's true. Like, the context of that quest is pretty disturbing when you think about it. It does delve into darker territory, especially as an autistic person myself. It was... I wouldn't say it's, like, dark, like grimdark, but it definitely was depressing. There's a difference between dark and sad. Well, yeah, Reaper, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's definitely darker elements of Warframe. They're just not super pronounced. I mean, the fact, like, going back to Jade Shadows again, the whole idea of basically a woman who's pregnant, right? Pregnant at the time, being forcibly turned into a Warframe, and then finding out your lover doesn't remember you anymore, and you're being used as a war machine by a high council. That's pretty dark, depressing shit. Like, that's not just sad, that's actually dark. The thing is that's just not pronounced, because like I said, DE doesn't really frame that stuff that way. Unless you really delve into it. But if they're saying they're going dark from now on, that makes me think they're going to make it much more pronounced. I'm so sorry for your lack of sleep. It's okay, Stabs. You didn't play a part in it or anything like that. I just drank way too much tea at around dinner time or so. I love that chat with Arthur where it asks, what's your most terrifying frame? And Drifter is like, Knight, Sevagoth, Clovergoth, Sevagoth, or Necros? Question mark. That's funny.
Marking void treasure extraction site. Excavator under attack. Extractor in place.
Ballas abused the Lotus to get over his ex and acted like she was immune to pain. That was kind of... Well, yeah, it is, Adam. That's what I'm talking about. It's just not... Because, like I said, it definitely has darker elements. Like, Warframe absolutely does when you delve into the subtext. It's just that it's not super pronounced most of the time. So what I'm trying to say is if they're going dark, then that makes me think that it's going to be way more pronounced from now on. Oh, and talking about Zeraman, yeah, that was dark. Yeah, Zeraman was pretty fucked up when you think about it. Like, that shit is pretty depressing and scary. I mean, like, imagine your family being turned into, like, sociopathic creatures, or psychopathic creatures, I forgot the phrasing, at the hands of a cosmic entity that eventually warp into something inhuman. That is some pretty dark shit. I would personally pick Nidus. Motherfuckers have failed Warframe transmutation. If it were for the operator, he'd be the strongest frame. Are pretty unclear the radar. You have to think about what's going on in order to realize how dark it is. Not anymore. Apparently, Warframe's darker elements. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sabs. It's just like it's just not that pronounced anymore. It's there. It's just not. It's just not the first thing you see. So if they're going dark, that tells me that they're making it the first thing you see. And if so, I think that's a good thing. We need more darker moments in this game, or more apparent darker moments, rather. Why the heck is this guy getting down so much? Get in my tornado. Oh my god, I just realized it's fucking, what's her name? Nyx that's talking. The real dark lore hides under Wisp trust. Good one. Let's see what we got. There we go. Out there. The B-52 attacking from above.
Whether on your weapons or in the crucible, toxin
Do you think that we are gonna get a Nidus rework? I highly doubt it, Reaper. I mean, there's no real reason to rework him. I mean, he's a pretty good frame already. I mean, the only thing they could rework is health tanking, that way he can scale better, but outside of that, there's no reason to rework him. Lucat Sky. Yeah, there's a... We were talking about this earlier, Lucat Sky. There's a very high probability that Limbo is, because there's a lot of coincidences that are falling into place in regards to TennoCon. At least ones that I've noticed. Will it happen? We'll see. I have no idea. But if it does, it's cool. Imagine Man in the Wall is not the only character to need to worry about. I would actually hope so for a remaster. Because if he's a cosmic entity, right, and he's a cosmic god, very likely there's other entities that exist above or below him. He's just a tank, nothing more. Honorable mention on his 2 from me. Well, no, Reaper, the thing is that he has a fully functioning complete kit. His 1 gets you the stacks needed to use his 3 and 4. His 3 is damage redirection, so if you wanted to, you could just have enemies kill them just by linking to them. His 4, oh my god, sorry, my throat. Provides healing and a little bit of crowd control through the larvae, which also explode when you use the 1. And the 1 scales with your stacks and your power strength, and it can kill things pretty easily on its own. I mean, if you dislike his playstyle, that's completely fair, but as a frame, there's no reason to rework him. He's fine. Hopefully he gets a Caliban tier rework instead of a Valkyrie tier rework. Nah, I don't think it's gonna be... I think it's kind of insulting to call Valkyrie tier Valkyrie tier. The Valkyrie rework was fine. A lot of my complaints are probably going to get ironed out when they look at health, because they've already said they're looking at health and armor right now on one of the dev shorts. So if they just fix that, then I think it's perfectly fine for what it was. All Limbo needs is quality of life. He doesn't need anything else, really. Mainly just VFX changes. Yeah, but he can barely kill anything in SP if I go... Well, Reaper, that's the point. He's a self-sustaining tank where you kill with your weapons. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to... Not every frame has to be a Dante that kills with their abilities. He's perfectly fine. You don't need to rework what doesn't need reworking. He's good. Yeah, when you start to introduce cosmic beings in an era, then the question becomes if there is a hierarchy. If this is like the highest being or basically fodder compared to the ones above him. Exactly, Cirrus. And I would hope he's not the fodder. Or I would hope he's the fodder. And then the other ones are higher above him. Yeah, we'll leave. He gets more powerful when you're camping or when you're alone. Yeah, that's the thing, is that Nidus is one of those frames where, like, he's definitely a camp frame. And if you don't like camping, then you're not gonna like him. And that's perfectly fine. And besides, we do have a lot of tools to help supplement his stuff. I mean, we have the operator, we have different mods, we have companions. Alright, we're gonna go back in again. So we got 2 of those done. Let's begin. Okay, riddle me this, Batman. Why would I use Nidus and Dante? Well, I'm using Nidus because I just don't want to die, and I just want to chill in one place. If I want to use Dante to nuke, that's fine. There's nothing wrong. You're like trying to compare apples to oranges. Not all Warframes have to be Dante. Because if everything's Dante, then there's no reason to use anything else. And if there's no reason to use anything else, you get bored. And if you get bored, you stop playing the game. There's a reason why we have different characters. There's a reason why we have variety. And if you don't have variety, then you don't have a sandbox. And if you don't have a sandbox, you don't have a game. Now, if you want, like I said, if you want to say that you dislike him, that's fine. Not every frame has to be for everybody. That's kind of like with Marvel, if you have read the comics, Eternity and Infinity were super hyped up. They are absolute fodder compared to other cosmic beings. Yeah, true. Nidus has this cool effect when its charge just holds up, while Dante's just a big owl. Something I half agree with that. It goes, they could treat Wally like from a kind of evil god who was outcast by the others and created his own world to rule. Yeah, that could be it too. It's also heavily implied, from what I can tell, that that from what we can tell, Wally seems to be the god of indifference. So if there's like different emotions that are tied to gods, it's possible there's other gods like that. Yo, we got a limbo! We got a limbo, let's go! The only change I want on Nidus is just assists count towards their stacks. That'd be nice, Wolf. I agree. I remember the theories that Wally was the Roman god Janus. That could be true, actually, because of the Janus key stuff.
Secrets lie buried deep within the undercroft. Paradox provides the means to extract them. You must protect the excavators and keep them powered.
Alright, I forgot how Nidus works, so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's armor, then... yeah, 4, right? Kind of. Oh, there go my sand cats. Indifference is like an abstraction slash concept, so it would make sense if there are gods for space, time, life, death, etc. Yeah. I can see that. 2 for getting your health back after the 3. Ah, I see. Yeah, I'm already starting to see why people might find a Naros lane, but hey, if you like playing him, that's fine. What do you think of a frame that has something similar to Venari but can switch that companion to a different one like Kavat to a Preosite? That could be really interesting, but then I think it just treads old ground a little too much. I wouldn't mind it though if it was something like owls and stuff though. You know, like flying animals. Because, he's not here, but one of my buddies, Darko, he had the concept of a Beastmaster frame, and I think that could go really hard. Frame from Agartha. Also have a concept for a Beastmaster frame. I'm gonna say it till the end of time, but for full caster frame, no weapons, only Warframe abilities buffed to be the weapon. That could be really cool. I doubt DE would do that, because I don't know if something like that would be received too well. At least today. Like, maybe in a couple of years. Imagine this. What if Limbo was not destroyed but was killed by a god? That'd be hella neat. It would give more respect to his name. We need a frame. Oh, I already read that. Honestly, I think Warframe could stop releasing frames for a year and the game would be fine. The consequences will suffer, but I don't care about them. Well, the thing is, Stabs, is that I think it's just because it's tradition that they have to keep doing this, because this is what they've been doing. Would it be better to maybe stop releasing frames for a bit? Maybe. But at the same time, that could be 4 different frames that could get added, but at the same time, it is getting a little oversaturated, so there's also an argument to be made there. I don't know what the solution would be. Maybe slow down the rate at which they release frames at least. If the content creators suffer, there's no slot for the masses and they lose interest. That's true. It is, in that case, it is sadly a necessary evil. Wait, what did that guy just say? Where's the... There it is. I can't see it. And plus it can bring some resources to other places instead of frames. How about they slow down the making of new frames and focus on giving us more prime frames? That also could work, Reaper. I can definitely see that being the case. Realistically, if they release a frame like once per year, the kit is going to be of way higher quality, just in virtue of the fact that they have been able to flush the frame out. I agree. I think that would be a smarter choice in the long run. But at the same time, I think it's just because the needs to, like, keep things going because they want the money, obviously, right? So I kind of doubt they would stop it for too long. I am down with that. That would be nice, I'll admit. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, where if they take attention away from new frames to focus on quality of life, the game will be better, but a lot of people might lose interest. Yeah, and that's like the problem as well, right? Is that they're trying to do all of that at the same time, but I think the problem is, and I've left some comments about it in you know, the latest video that I did on Warframe mission design. Some people were talking about it, and I was like, I feel like a lot of this could be fixed if they just had a bigger team. Like, more people to give certain parts of the game to. Like, maybe even split it where there's one dev team that works on old stuff and one team that works on new stuff. Because at least to me, I feel like them trying to work on both halves of the game is starting to show. Which isn't a bad thing. I think it's good to get that stuff fixed, but at the same time, it does make both sides suffer. Why not get a good premium quality package? I would like that. Doubt they'll go that route, though. At least anytime soon. What if they continue giving us frames in this speed? They are bound to be... Oh, I already read that. DEA have focused way too much on the new player experience in recent years. Well, Arson, that's the whole point. Like, if they can't get new players to get into the game, then the game suffers as a result because there's not enough players to sustain itself. Like, in hot take, I think it's better that they're working on the new player experience than the newer stuff, because it means that there's going to be more players that can get to where we are, which I think is very, very important. Because if you don't have a sustainable player base, then obviously the players will die out. So it's always important to make sure that you're trying to get more people in, and the best way you do that is by fixing up the new player experience. It's a logical step that makes sense, and I agree with. I think it's good for the game. Now they are losing more veteran players because of the lack of in-game replayable content. That's true, Arson, but at the same time, there's more players coming in to fill that void, which is important. Because, like, yes, that sucks, and I get it, and I hate it, but logically it makes sense for them to try and get more people in than to try keeping only the players that have been around for so long. Like, I know that's shitty to say, and I don't want to say it, but it logically makes sense. It sucks, but it makes sense. Well, objectively speaking, before the new player experience, the game design was extremely atrocious, to be blunt, super unclear what to do with the game, which led to so many players quitting. Exactly, Sirius. So many of the older features are broken or have too many flaws to play. They come in but leave because there's nothing to do, and they have spent around 4 years on the new player experience, which in my opinion is ridiculous. Well, I mean, it makes... Well, that's the thing, Arson, is that the game... The Warframe is a game that I would say is pretty good, but it's on a very unstable foundation, so it would make sense that they would need to work on it so long, because it's hard to get people into a game like Warframe. Because Warframe in of itself is its own unique thing when you think about it. So it's really hard to get people sold on something that is as unique as Warframe is. And if it takes them that long to work on it, I think it's understandable. Because it's hard to, like, make a game like Warframe as it is right now. And this isn't me trying to dick ride the devs, I'm just looking at it from a very logical standpoint, is all. They are a company at the end of the day, but I also do have to look at it from their lens. I think the best way for the new player experience is more tutorials and the more understandable things in the game. They need more explanation. They do. And that's part of why I'm working on the modding guide. Because I feel like if people have like a basis for understanding parts of the game and how they should be trying to approach it, it would be better. Thank God the well-dressed guy left, he was annoying. Destiny 2 suffers from new player and is dying. Yeah, Furry Master, exactly. Like, the fact that they haven't worked on the new player experience, that game is suffering. Like, I've played Destiny 2 a little bit. I will tell you, the new player experience is one of the worst I've seen in gaming. Easily. Like, I've seen some bad ones. That one in particular is terrible. Easily worse than Warframes, in my opinion. And the fact that they haven't bothered to actually try and work on it is shooting themselves in the foot. The modding explanations within the game are still insufficient. It's generally never a good idea to make the player base have to look at some. Well, yes, Cirrus. Well, the thing is, Cirrus, you say that, but there's actually a lot more hints and tutorials than people let on. At least from what I found, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in the video as well. Because there are actually tutorials. Are they super clear? No, but they do exist. And there's some that I haven't seen anyone point out that even I missed that are actually really important. I'll say right now though, Inaros is really fucking boring. Not atrociously bad, but my god, I definitely see why Steve in particular wasn't very happy with the rework. Trying to look for the Amphors. Warframe new player experience is good enough already. The modding is nowhere near as complicated as people think. Not at the start of the game anyway. Should focus hard on endgame. Well, Arson, I would agree, but the fact that they're still having trouble getting people in the game means that there's still a problem. Which logically explains why they're trying to work on both. And ROS rework one for real. I will admit though, it is kind of nice playing as an ROS and just standing. They exist, true, but presumably the clarity is going to be what matters, not really just... Well, yeah, that's what I mean, Sirius. Is that there are actually some tutorials that exist that I think are really good that they exist in Warframe that I've noticed. The problem is that you kind of have to seek them out to find them, which is really annoying as far as I can tell. Why isn't this guy activating stasis? I'll probably be resetting after this one because I am not enjoying an ROS. I still struggle with modding when it comes to multiplicative versus additive because there's so much weapons that keep being trapped in the middle and it's all kind of bullshit. Yeah, that's true, Sebs, but like the general rule of thumb is if it's projectile, it's multiplicative. If it's hit scan, it's additive. Or if it's a beam weapon, it's also additive. That's the general rule of thumb when it comes to that system. And then, of course, with melee in particular, there are some really, really weird cases that exist. And that actually cycles back to another thing about the modding stuff. It sucks that it isn't very clear, but at the same time... How should I put this? From what I've gathered and from what I've looked into when it comes to the modding system, DE could do it, but the problem is that they do... I know this is going to sound really cynical of me. They do unfortunately have a profit incentive to not explain the modding system all that well. Because if people buy like extra like adapters or extra, you know, formas and forma things up, that's still money that they're getting per person that doesn't understand what it is they're doing. Which is shit to say, but the incentive is sadly there, which would probably explain why they haven't explained the system all too well. It's also an incentive for content creators not to ask for it. That's true too, Stabs, yeah, because when content creators can explain it themselves, they do get money too. I mean, heck, in my case, I'll fully admit, if I make a guide like this, it'll probably line my pockets, possibly. I got no idea until I make it, though. Kind of just follow this handy build video I made. Exactly, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick look at something, and then I'm gonna have to cut the stream short because my fam, or my dad rather, needs me to do some stuff in a few minutes. So, just gonna take a quick look at a few things. Probably buy some Kuva. Yeah, that's also why you have to spend plat to rush items. Exactly, Cirrus. Bingo, right there. Like, it sucks, and I would like DE to do a better job of explaining it, but they, like I said, they do unfortunately have an incentive to not fix it. Maybe for the creators, so they can keep promoting stuff around the game, or maybe for themselves, because people will buy plat for it. There's just things in the way that conflict with it. It's kind of like with YouTube, how like they don't have it where they have a lot of incentives to fix the copyright system, right? For example, but they also have one massive reason to not do it, which is largely due to the lawsuit they had back in 2007 with Viacom, where that whole shitstorm was what really caused them to be so lenient. Well, not lenient, strict when it comes to copyright and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of good reasons to fix it, but there's also one big reason to not fix it that does benefit them hugely. My barber once told me that you're in business to make money, not friends. Yeah, that's true, Adam, but I also think that's a little too cynical, because the problem is that if you don't make friends or if you don't make allies, and you don't really get people to actually, you know, buy your stuff or get involved with your channel, or something like that, for example. At the end of the day, DE is a company. They are much better than most, but have some incentives to design things in such ways they can earn profit. Exactly, Cirrus. Exactly. Remember, Tencent is greedy. They need a lot. Well, the thing, Furry Master, in all honesty, I don't think this is a Tencent kind of thing. I don't think Tencent's forcing them to do any of these sort of things. This stuff's been around for years, even before Tencent came into the picture. I think it's just one of those things where, like, yes, they want to be good to their players, because, like, here's the thing. Controversially, I think DE does care a lot about its player base. I genuinely do. But at the same time, they do have to make money at the end of the day. So it's more of like it feels more like a necessary evil kind of thing. At most. Because I feel like if they really hated their players, they probably wouldn't design or give us certain things that we have gotten in the past few years. Like, I feel like the whole switch up with Reb and Steve in particular would never have happened if they hated the players. What people are saying with the Tencent stuff, but for me, that gets too conspiracy. Exactly, Cirrus. I feel like it's a little too conspiracy when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah, but well, Arson, they had a similar thing last year and years before, too. This isn't anything new. It's just another miss, if anything. Like, do I think this update's a disappointment? Yeah. But I don't think it's, like, terrible. I mean, it doesn't kill my interest in the game. I mean, I'm still playing it right now. I just feel like it's another case of DE missing, is all it is. I don't think it's like a case of them being super greedy. Because usually, especially with updates like these, they usually lay the groundwork of what will probably be coming. So my assumption is we're probably going to get more Void / Fractured 1 kind of stuff in the next update. Which would make sense. I mean, it is the Void War. Yeah, you were right. Yeah. Ooh, it's the Elden Ring main theme. Well, it's definitely some greed, everything but the Araxia fight is just like, not really. I mean, the whole zone itself is pretty cool. Unless the game gets a gacha system, I think we're good. Yeah, like, we haven't gotten anything like that. Like, it's not that bad. And besides, Arson, you're complaining about recycled content. I don't think you're upset over the fact that it's recycled content. You're more upset with the way it's been used. Because there's nothing wrong with recycled content if it's done well. I just feel like here it wasn't done the best, is all. Because, I mean, fuck. I love the fractured enemies. They're my favorite faction to fight. Yeah, exactly, Furry Master. That's all this is. I just think they missed the mark. There's nothing more to it. Could it have been better? Yeah, absolutely. But like trying to judge it, oh hey, this one update that we just got will kill the game or blah blah blah. It's like they've done recycled content for years. This is nothing new. They just missed the mark. That's all. I just hate the damage attenuation shit they keep doing. That's fair, Arson. I do too. There's nothing wrong to hate that. I didn't mind it with the Fractured one, to be honest. I think the Fractured boss fight does it kind of fine. It's not super noticeable, in my opinion. The fucking Vor fight, though, that shit was atrocious. Well, anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going now because my dad wants to do some stuff. This was a really good stream. I think I'll probably stream again later on today to make up for it because I did want to stream a bit longer, but overall, I thought this was good. I like a lot of the conversations that we did. See you, Adam. Have a good one, buddy. And if you guys want to see the face reveal that I did, by the way, because I did one, you guys can join the server. It's in there right now. And on the news of the next video, I am going to be doing some more revisions because I kind of realized that there's some stuff that I was missing for it that I need to go through and do. The video is most likely going to come out either at the end of this month or at the very beginning of the next month. And then TennoCon, I will be streaming as well. I'm very excited for that. I can't wait to see what's next. And with that, guys, I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day.